Hello everyone, Sobroni of G&A Reviews here, bringing you another event guide. This time we'll be taking a look at the upcoming Scathach Fest in FGO. This event will be dropping this Monday, and it's going to be open to everyone who's completed Fuyuki already, so even newer players will be able to participate and farm it. Now, as with all of my event guides, this is going to be an in-depth look at the event, covering everything from the new craft essences to the best farming strategies. So to help you along, I've included timestamps in the description down below, so you can jump ahead to whichever part of this video you need the most. And if you're as excited to take on Scathach Fest as I am, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring my bell so you can catch all of my event guides and spotlights as they go up, and you can help out the channel. And now, on to the event servants. Unfortunately, there won't be any new servants or welfares that are dropping with this event. However, we do have a rate up for Scathach herself. For those of you who don't know, Scathach is a 5-star Lancer with a single target quick noble phantasm, and she is an excellent single target DPS servant who has an anti-divine niche and can serve as a rather good boss killer. Aside from her, we also have rate ups for Finn McCool, Diarmid, and Tamamo Cat. Out of this batch, I would recommend picking up Finn if you're in the market for a good Castoria farmer. But that's all we have for event servants. So now let's take a look at the CEs. We have a lot of new craft essences and command codes coming with this event, starting off with the 3-star Gacha CE Class Under the Blue Sky. This CE generates 1 crit star per turn and increases arch card effectiveness by 3%, as well as increasing the bronze coin drops by 1, or 2 if you max limit break it. This is a decent budget CE for art servants that like critting, like Saber Hokusai, Serenity, and Salieri. We also have the 4-star Hell's Kitchen, which increases arch card effectiveness by 8%, and P damage by 10%, and crit damage by 10%, and it'll also increase the silver coin drops by 1 or 2 if you max limit break it. Now this is a very strong CE for arch crit servants like Luvia, Kagetora, and Ryoma. And finally, we have the 5-star Gacha CE Crimson Teacher's Pointer, which features full attack stats and also increases quick card effectiveness by 10%, quick card crit damage by 15%, and grants 40% starting NP charge. It'll also increase the gold coin drops by 1 or 2 if you max limit break it. This is an excellent CE even outside of the event, and it's very strong on quick crit DPS servants like Scathach, Ushi, and Atlanta Alter. We also get a free CE with this event, the 5-star Our Hearts Raised Up High. This craft essence grants Guts 1 time, reviving the servant with 1 HP, and also increases buster card effectiveness by 8%. For the duration of the event, it'll also increase the dog tag drops by 1 or 2 if you max limit break it, and this CE is more suited for Buster Glass Cannons who can really appreciate the extra guts, like Hijikata, Summer Jolter, and Kintoki. Moving on to the command codes, we have the 3-star Mini Coup. This command code will remove 1 crit attack up chance from an enemy as long as you attack with the engraved card, and it'll also increase your crit damage by 5% on the engraved card. And this can be a nice little crit buff for any kind of crit DPS like Billy the Kid or Coup Prototype. Next up, we have the 4-star The Nautilus Traveling 20,000 Leagues. This command code will grant 2 crit stars when attacking with the engraved card, and it will remove 1 defense debuff from yourself when attacking with the engraved card. This works well on some tanky supports who appreciate the extra crit generating and debuff removal like Jean and Santa Nightingale. And finally, the 5-star command code is Everyone's Girl Da Vinci. This command code will increase NP damage by 8% for all allies when attacking with the engraved card, and this one is best suited for supports who love to buff their allies like Castoria, Merlin, and Hans. The shop for this event is going to feature 4 different types of currencies: the bronze coins, the silver coins, the gold coins, and the demon boar plushies. The bronze coins are going to get you 1 copy of the event CE, as well as homunculus babies, spinal fluids, fiendish chains, cowbells, and 3-star and 4-star foes. The silver currency is going to trade in for another copy of the event CE, gallstones, tiaras, void dust, and pieces for each class, while the gold coins will trade in for 2 copies of the event CE, the bunny outfit for Scathach, hearts, Lenugos, and ancient cores, and monuments for each class. And finally, the boar plushies will trade in for each of the command codes, as well as golden eggs, quick buster and arch card code openers, and code removers. You can also trade in the Demon War plushies for 500,000 QP each. One thing to note is there's only going to be 4 copies of the event CE in the shop, so if you plan on max limit breaking it, you're going to have to get lucky and get one to drop while you're farming. This entire event event, much like the Gilfest and Nerofest events before it, is going to revolve around the Lotto system. This is a mechanic where players can spin a roulette to win all kinds of prizes, very similar to the Christmas event we had last year. If you don't know how Lotto events work, basically you're going to be farming for a certain currency, in this case dog tags, throughout the event, which you can use to roll for Lotto boxes, which will reward you with all kinds of special items. The dog tags will drop from all free quests, so you're going to farm them constantly just by participating in the event. The amount of times that you can roll these Lotto boxes is infinite, which means you can spend as many dog tags as you want, and you'll be able to win an infinite amount of prizes. That makes Lotto events the absolute best way to spend your AP, since these Lotto events have by far the best return on investment of any event in the game, so feel free to spend as many of your apples as you want farming these boxes. For this event, the Lotto box prizes will include blue, red, and gold skill gems for each class, bronze, silver, and gold apples, 3-star and 4-star experience, QP, friend points, mana prisms, evil bones, heroes proof, ancient gears, and phoenix plumes. Each box will also contain 4 demon boars, which you'll need for trading into the shop. As I mentioned, you can reset the Lotto boxes infinitely, but you can only do that once you've won the grand prize in each of the boxes, or if you've cleared all of the contents. The grand prizes for these Lotto boxes are going to be full prints for boxes 1 through 5, a crystal lore for box 6, and 4-star foes for boxes 7 through 10. After box 10, there's no more grand prizes, so you're just going to need to clear the entire box in order to reset it. But even if you do hit the grand prize early, I don't ever recommend resetting a box before you get all of the items inside of it, because you'll just be wasting the experience and QP and ascension mats that you didn't get. And now the part you've all been waiting for. One of the other major mechanics to this event is the introduction of a brand new game mode called Grail Front. Rather than a traditional story quest setup, every day we'll be getting a new Grail Front map to play. There is a lot to talk about when it comes to Grail Front because of how different it is from just normal FGO. So I'm actually going to do a separate video that goes into all of the details on how the mode is played, so keep an eye out for that. But for the purposes of this guide video, all you need to know is that Grail Front is basically just a chess mode. Rather than fighting waves of enemies with 3 servants at a time, both you and your servants will be represented as game pieces on a game board. The objective is going to be to move your servants across the board, taking out enemy servants while making their way to the enemy master. To win, you're either going to need to kill every enemy servant or attack the enemy master 3 times. However, you will lose if you lose all of your servants or if your masterpiece gets attacked 3 times. And you can't just bring any old servant either. Each Grail Front map is going to require you to bring servants from specific classes, and you have a very limited amount of command points. So you won't be able to just throw all of your 4-star and 5-star servants at the enemy like you do in normal FGO. Instead, you're going to have to make really good use out of your silver and bronze servants as well. As with any chess-like game mode, there is a lot of strategy involved in Grail Front, and you can do things like play defensively and lure enemies into choke points. You can ambush one enemy with multiple servants, you can outmaneuver enemies without even having to fight them, and you can brute force your way to the enemy master, etc, etc. Like I said, there is a lot to this game mode, way too much for me to cover in this video, so I'll cover it in more depth in a separate guide. But once you complete a Grail Front map, you will receive an item called a Holy Grail tier. If you collect 7 of these tiers, you can trade them in for a Holy Grail at the end of the event, so it does pay to complete all of the Grail Front maps. Other than the Grail Front mode though, the event will function just like any other Gilfest style event. Free quests are going to appear on a short rotation, where after 2 or 3 days they'll be swapped out for a new set of free quests. And each set of free quests is going to have 6 different nodes that you can farm of varying difficulty. There are a total of 3 sets or 3 phases of free quests, so let's talk a bit about how you should go about farming them. There are quite a few tips that you can follow to make farming this event much easier. Firstly, interestingly enough, every servant you have is going to receive a bonus in damage for this event. The lower the rarity of the servant, the higher the damage bonus they receive. 5-star servants will receive a 20% damage bonus, 4-star servants receive a 30% damage bonus, 3 stars get a 40%, 2 stars get 45%, and 1-star servants get 50%. However, do note that these passive damage bonuses only apply to the free quest section of the event, not to the Grail Front. There's also a number of bonus craft essences you can use to increase the farming drop rates. Class Under the Blue Sky will increase the bronze coin drops by 1, Hell's Kitchen will increase the silver coin drops, Crimson Teacher's Pointer will increase the gold coin drops, and the Shop CE will increase the dog tag drops. I would recommend rolling the friend point gacha for the 3-star CE just to make farming easier, and then you should purchase the event CE from the shop as soon as possible. However, you shouldn't max limit break it until you have about 7 or 8 of them, depending on your farming team, otherwise you're going to end up with less of a total bonus when farming for dog tags. The optimal free quest that you want to farm for each type of currency will remain the same regardless of the phase that you're in. You're always going to want to farm the Warrior free quest for bronze coins, the Knight free quest for silver coins, the Imperial Guard free quest for gold coins, and the Hero free quest for the dog tags. It's worth noting that if you're able to pull it off, the recommended level 90 plus free quest, aka the Legend node, will drop a high amount of each currency including the dog tags. So it's actually the best place to farm if you're looking to clear out the entire shop and roll the lotto boxes. However, it is a very high difficulty node. It's going to be very tough to farm if you don't have a really strong farming setup like Space Ishtar and Double Castoria. And that's about it for this event. If you've ever played a lotto event before, you pretty much know exactly what to expect here. Just make sure that you have a really good farming setup if you plan on taking on that 90 plus free quests. And I'll be putting out a video that goes into more detail on the Grail Front mode as well, so keep an eye out for that. But if you have any questions about the event, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, do join the party over on our Discord, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Twitch. And I'll see you all in the next event guide. Soberoni out. Later.